Good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss about unit number 2. The unit number 2 title is Advanced Structural Modeling. And the first topic is Advanced Classes and Advanced Relationship. So that we are going to discuss about in detail in this class. And before going to this topic, I just want to give you a brief introduction about what is mean by a class. So that many students are already aware about in the UML diagram, that is a Unified Modeling Language. In the Unified Modeling Language, there are n number of UML diagrams are available. So in that, one of the diagram is that is the heart of your UML diagram is your class diagram. So in that class diagram, how we will represent and what is mean by class diagram, that everything we will discuss about one by one in this particular lecture. So a class that we can calling as a specific instance, or sometimes we can calling as it is an object. So that object that should have some kind of a name, and it should have some kind of an attribute, and it should have some kind of an operation. So these three things are going to be combined, and it will going to be restructured in a rectangle shape and dividing into three different kind of portion that we are calling as a class diagram in your UML diagram. So we can take an example like a person or a place or any other things that will going to be captured, or that going to be store some kind of information for your useful purpose for in the future. And abstraction, that going to be specify the attributes, and it will going to be behave like a set of an object. So whenever we are having any class, that class is going to be represented as an object. Otherwise it is calling as a classes. So it should have a structure, and it will divide into three different kind of portions, and the three different portions are going to be telling in detail about what is the name of that particular class, and what is the attribute that contain the particular class name, and what are the operation or method will going to be contained in the particular class name. And before going to that, what is an object? So that entities that going to be encapsulate state and behavior that we already discussed in programming language like C++ programming, or Java programming, or C programming. So whatever that we are taking, the object is going to be a very important vital role play in all the programming languages. So similarly here, the object is a main role that will going to be play a prominent of useful information will provide based upon that. And each object, it should have some kind of an identity. So it can be referred individual, and sometimes it will going to be distinguishable from other objects. So object that we can take any kind of, which is going to be sensed by the human, that we can calling as an attribute, that we can call as an object, and that will going to be provided a different kind of an attribute. And sometimes it will provide an operation or method or function, sometimes it will not there, no issue. So let it be it is an object and the attributes, right? And coming to the class diagram, so class diagram, this is we are calling as static, because we are going to be representing by the three different kind of portion. One is class name, and second is your attribute, and third is your operation. And each class diagram, it will going to be not only used for visualization, and it will going to be for describing and documenting the different aspect of your system, but also for your constructing an executable code for your particular software application. So this particular diagram will going to be visualized by the user requirement specified. So what the user is given by the problem statement, based upon that, the designing team will going to be sit together, and they will collect all the different kind of requirement, and after that they will going to be plot in a pictorial representation. So that pictorial representation will provide in detail about how this particular class diagram will going to be give and elaborate about to fulfill your customer expectation. So, and class diagram will going to describe the attribute and operations of the class, and also it is going to be constrain some imposed on the systems, and which can be mapped with most all the object oriented programming languages also. So UML will going to stands for Unified Modeling Language. So this is one of the UML will going to play a major role for your designing any kind of a problem statement. And class diagram shows a collection of classes, interfaces, and associations of your constraints, and it also well known about your structural diagram. So that structure diagram that I will discuss in the next slide. And there are two different types of classes are there. One is one founding during analysis and other one founding during your design. So what is meant by during analysis and what is meant by during your design? So during of analysis, people and place, event and things about which the system will going to be capture the information that we can calling as an analysis. So we are taking what kind of people and how many people and which place it was, what is the purpose of the particular place, what kind of event it was, what kind of things it was. So all these things that you will going to be analysis at during of your the particular software development phase. And coming to the design space, so design, when your requirement collection is done, there is no any change in the requirement, then we can go ahead with your designing concept. So specific your object like a windows or forms that are used going to be built in the particular system. So there are two different aspects of your class. One is your during of your analysis and second is your during of your design. So coming to here, the class diagram. So what is this class diagram? Let them take example. So So every class diagram will divide into three different kind of portion. Okay, one, two, three. So what is this? This is your class name. This is your class name, right? And this particular portion we can calling as an attribute. Attribute, right? And this is you are calling as a function, right? This is your third portion of your class diagram. We are calling as a function or method, right? So this is the example that they're taking as a trip. So trip is your class name. Then trip contain what are the attribute? The trip contain a name and created at what date and home currency and starting at what date and ending at what date, and what are the function it contain? A set name, that is a function name, always we will represent open and close bracket, and save and delete. So let them take an example. Here I am just doing with the so here I am taking student. So I'm just writing as here a student. So this is my class name, and the student can have attribute like a name, right? So sure they will have a name and they will have a date of birth, right? And they will have address, and they will have which program they are belongs to, right? And what students operation that I have, operation or function or method. So students can have to daily they should have a habit of the function is read and that open bracket and close bracket. This is a symbol that we should mention: read, write, read, write, and then I can go ahead with one more, play, right? So this is all the function that can one class can contain, that it will give you the attribute and then operation, right? So there are n number of class diagram we can take: student, professor, or any kind of an object, fan or washing machine, microwave oven. all the class name should have attribute and operation. So class diagram in UML, it should represent divided into three different portions. One is your class name, second is your attribute, and third is your function. Here the video rental system, which is a system will provide. There are different kind of symbol which will going to be represent. One is minus symbol. That minus symbol will going to be represent visibility. So there are minus, plus, and then hash. So there are three different notations are available. The three different notations which will going to be provide what is the visibility of the particular attribute name. So CID, the customer should have the customer ID and customer should have the customer name. So this minus minus, this is going to be in, public, so anybody can able to view the customer name and the customer ID. And coming to that operation which will have authenticate customer, so authentic customer will be private, so the private will can be mentioned by the plus symbol. So the second portion which we are calling as an attribute, so this symbol will be notated by your visibility of your class diagram. And coming to here, this is your class name, so this is a video is another class name, and for the video it should have two different kind of an attribute, and the last one is operation. So the plus symbol and minus symbol I told you already for this particular class. And between this customer and between this video there are relationship will be there. So the straight line with arrow mark, we are indicating this straight line arrow mark in your UML diagram is an association. So the customer is going to be associated with the video, so the customer going to be giving the rent of this video. And what is the multiplicity concept? So there are 1 to 1 or many to 1 or 1 to many, so there are we can mention by such a any kind of multiplicity concept that we can mention between your two different kind of classes, right? In modeling the semantic of your class, so coming to here, there are different kind of responsibility of the class and node that will going to be attached in your all the dependency with your relationship. So the stereotype which will have the class of the specific of semantics, and where you can have a structured text or programming language, in that you can have a dependency relationship. And where you can have the precondition post condition, you may going for your text such a structured text in your node. And when you're having a state machine, so where the classes will going to represent by the different state of object, which will going to provide of your modeling of your semantic of a class, right? And I told you already, there are in a class diagram you can take like a plus symbol and minus symbol and hash symbol. So the plus symbol we are telling as a public, and minus symbol will going to representing as a private, and hash symbol which going to be provided by your protected. So this is three different symbol which will going to be provide in detail about of your particular class. So plus all the object within your system, and hash instance of the implementation class and its subclasses, and minus symbol instance of the implementing classes. So what are different relationships are available? So in a class diagram, there are main three basic categories are there. One is association, generalization, and aggregation. But among that, there are another divided of subcategories of your relationships are available. So the main part of is association, and coming under dependency, generalization, aggregation comes under composition relationship. So I just to tell you that how it will going to represent with notation. So association always a straight line with arrow mark, right? And dependency always a dotted line, the dotted line and with arrow mark. And generalization always it should go towards up direction, and the arrow mark will be represented by it here. Aggregation, a straight line at last a diamond symbol. So this is we are calling as aggregation. And coming to the composition, same aggregation model, right? The diamond symbol will come over here at last, but the diamond symbol should be represented by your shadow, right? So this will be represented by using of the shadow. So this is what the composition notation, right? So this each each kind of notation will going to be used for your class diagram for your different scenario between of your two different kind of classes, right? And coming to here, uh, the first relationship, what is association? So association is always, we are telling us, is a strong relationship between your two different kind of classes. So wherever we are having a strong bond, the strong relationship, either father and mother, and then a child and parent, grandfather and child, and then customer with the client. So these all the things are always, we are calling as a strong relationship between the two different kind of person. So then only we can go for a smooth manner. Otherwise, it is very difficult, challenging task to maintain the relationship between the two different classes. So whenever you are feeling like that, then you can use this association relationship. So I already told the association relationship will going to be using a straight line with arrow mark. So drawing a line between a class and labeling with the name of the relationship and indicating a small solid triangle beside the name of the relationship in the direction of association. Sometimes this may also get happen. So what we can, straight line with bidirectional. So this is also possible. This is bidirectional. Sometimes straight line, one single arrow mark. Otherwise, one common line. Here they will mention a small arrow mark, and always they will mention the purpose of the communication between the two different classes. So for here we are taking patient is one class, medical history is another class. So patient will provide always a medical history about the particular patient. So this is a meaning of the particular line, and this is the direction of the arrow mark, and this is a line will provide the relationship between your patient and your medical history. In dependency, this is a second relationship in your class diagram. So this dependency will going to be provide wherever the two different classes are there, one class which is depends upon the another class, then you may use this particular relationship between the two different class. So this always represented by a dotted line with an arrow mark. So here they are telling a course schedule is a one class name, course is another class name. So course schedule is always depends upon the course, because without course there is no any course schedule. So I can tell another example. uh, Employee salary. So employee is depends upon the salary. So this is other kind of aspect. So student and professors. So students is always depends upon the professors, because they are taking a lecture or they are taking a attendance, and they are providing all the material, they are evaluating the marks. So all the students are depending upon the professors. So this is another kind of example that I am providing to for you, understanding in detail about how the dependence relationship between you are using between two different kind of classes, right? So you should always use a dotted line with an arrow mark, right? So this is very important, right? So next relationship is generalization. So what is mean by generalization? So generalization is always denoting as an line. That line will have an up and arrow mark. So this arrow mark will indicate the generalization. I think we already studied about what is the inheritance concept. So that inheritance concept will play a major role in the generalization concept, like single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance, hierarchical inheritance. So all these things, wherever the relationship will comes under any kind of class diagram, between a two class or three class or four class, so you may group all these kind of categories into same, and you can provide it one single up arrow mark to your base class, right? So you know that what is a subclass and superclass that we are denoting in your C++ programming and as well as your Java. So whenever we having a subclass and superclass, so it will going to be connect between your inheritance concept. So here the same concept that we are going to be using over here. I will tell you other example. There is one university. In that university there are n number of different programs are there, like SASC, ECE, mechanical, civil engineering, electrical engineering. So whenever the university is putting any kind of rules, that will going to be applicable for your all the different schools. So this is, we can group into one single class, then we can connect to your generalization concept. So this is what a generalization relationship that we are going to be using in your class diagram. This is the other kind of, so whenever you're having a multiple superclass, so instead of this, you can put it in reverse order. Student is there, employee is there, and teaching assistant is there. So if you want to connect between these three different kind of class diagram, you can go ahead with your generalization concept, and uh, you can use this relationship between the three different classes, and you can provide it. And coming to your association relationship, so this association I told you already, under this there are two different kind of categories are there. One is aggregation, other one is your composition. So aggregation and composition. So aggregation, I told you, that is straight line with a last we can have a diamond symbol, right? So that symbol will going to be using between your two different kind of classes. So car is there, engine is there, transmission is there. Let them take three different kind of classes. Now car means engine is one of the part, and transmission is another part. So you can put it at, without engine you cannot able to run a car, without a transmission you cannot utilize a particular car. Or we can take a wheel, so without wheel you cannot able to run a car. So this is mandatory of parts in the car to run in a smooth manner. Otherwise, when we are saying this is a car, it should be a mandatory, this all the particular components should be there. So if we are removing any kind of components from the car, then we cannot say this is a car. For example, I don't have an engine of the particular, but I'm having the body of the car, so I cannot say this is a car. So that is not a car. So whenever we are making any relationship between in your human diagram, that is in the class diagram, if you want to communicate between such a situation, then obviously you can use aggregation relationship. And coming to the association, there's other one which is a composition. So association relationship, which will another one a composition. So composition means if I'm taking one window, that window I'm having a scroll bar, I'm having a title bar, and I'm having a menu bar. So these all the things are going to be associated with my composition. So it means by that, without, if I don't have any such a scroll bar or title bar or menu bar, I cannot able to use this window, right? So if the situation is coming in your class diagram in the problem statement, then obviously we can use such a composition relationship in the particular class diagram, right? So these are some basics of references which that you can refer for your more detail about what is my class diagram and what is my object diagram, and what are the different relationships are that we are using, and what are the advanced of different kind of classes are available, right? So this is a references that you can go through it in detail about. And this is my contact information. You can reach to my email ID if you have any queries. Then sure I will touch with you all. Those who are providing any query, sure I will reply to your query. And thank you all for joining this session. Thank you.